Hello everyone, welcome back to Luke's Movie Talk, where I go over some of the most recent movies I've been watching. And for this episode, I went to cinema recently and I watched Bullet Train. Okay, so to start off, the cast was amazing. I absolutely loved the ensemble. Like Brad Pitt, Bad Bunny, we've got Joey King, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry, and there's many more that have almost cameo appearances, but I won't ruin them. Pitt is sent on a mission to acquire a briefcase from a bullet train, but doesn't know about the other parties that are involved. Pitt comes across multiple other contract killers with cool nicknames like Wolf, the Twins, and the Hornet. The action is awesome for the fight scenes, and the gore is visually well done and doesn't look CG in any way. Like the Hornet killer, she uses a toxin and it makes you bleed out of your eyes and all your orifices. And I don't know if it is CG or it's practical, but the blood that they use that comes out of the eyes and stuff looked proper nasty, like proper like goo, because it says that the toxin makes your blood coagulate, and the blood looked rotten. It really did. And then there's one moment in the film where Aaron Taylor-Johnson's character, I think his name was Tangerine, his nickname. It was Tangerine or Lemon, because there's two brothers, and he got shot, and the blood that spurts out of him is nasty. It looked gory as hell. It continued to bleed for a good like 20 to 30 seconds of him like flopping around trying to hold it in. It was gory, and those instances were done really well, especially for the sparingly they did use them. All parties cross paths with multiple twists and info being brought back. Like there's actions and events that happen during the film. Like at one point a snake gets released by accident. That comes back later in the film, and someone gets bitten, and that was really cool because everyone starts panicking. There's other characters that end up dying because other characters are still hidden on the train but end up popping back up, and people, it always clicks in their head like, oh yeah, you're the one that did that. It all makes sense now. Those were really cool moments. Like the Hornet one happened with her. There was again with the Hornet, they show that she was in a costume on the train, and you kept seeing this costume character, and they kept getting involved for some reason, and a lot of the other characters were like, what, why are you doing this? And they kept punching her. It was really funny, and they end up bringing it all back round, and it clicks for everyone like, oh yeah, that's why, it makes all sense now. The talk of luck, fate and karma play a big role in the overall story, showing flashbacks that eventually connect plot points. The story is based on Brad Pitt's character, who is supposedly got very bad luck, and at the end of the film it almost makes it sound like he's had great luck this whole time, and it's almost saved his life because multiple characters die around him, and he's like, oh my god, this is the worst luck I've ever had. And eventually it all comes around and ends up helping him in the end. And for other characters, there's this girl that Joey King plays, and she ends up thinking, oh, I've won the day, but she had a lot of moments in the film where she's done horrible things. She's killed people, set people up, set bombs up and everything, and then the thought of karma comes into effect, and people are like, oh yeah, that you came back to get her. Pitt plays a contract killer that has been out for a while and plays with that sense of rust well. Like, he hasn't been doing this for a while, he's been out. He says he's been meditating and trying to calm himself. He's been to a therapist. You can tell that he's not up to snuff compared to the rest of the other killers, and he's trying to get back into the swing of things. It was fun to see that, because he's like, ooh, I'm not as good as I used to be and everything. It was really cool to see. Hiroyuki Sanada and Michael Shannon's appearances towards the end was fabulous. I absolutely love them. Haruki Sanada's character is actually a character that was mentioned early in the film, and he was shown and everything, but you didn't know it was actually his character because it was a younger version. And it all, again, it ties together with the fate and stuff. And Sanada's character actually references, oh, fate made my life hell, and now it's brought me back here so I can finish off what happened. And it's a really nice, almost like a ribbon, a tied bow. And Michael Shannon, who plays this like a Russian gangster that's taken over this Yakuza, he's constantly got his own way. He pretty much just brushes everyone off, his own daughters, sons, and literally everyone he brushes off as unimportant and does what he wants. Again, the karma of fate comes back round to get him in the end, and it's really nice, like bow, like finishing it off like, oh yeah, you got your comeuppance in the end. The confinement of the train gave an edge of your seat experience, because you had no idea when all the other parties would cross paths, because a lot of the time all the characters were on different train carts, and they would sometimes walk past each other and take notice or not see each other. There was one moment where Aaron Taylor-Johnson sees Brad Pitt, doesn't recognise him, and just kind of walks off, but then it comes back round and they go, I remember you, you're the one that's involved in all of this, and it kind of brings it all back together, like the rest of the film has been doing. It's like bringing things back, and like the bulb going off, like, oh yeah, I remember this happening, and it all makes sense now. You're that person that did that. The only small negative I would have, though, is the ending, where the train incident where it crashes was so over the top compared to the rest of the film. I know there's moments in the film where like the emergency doors open, but I feel that's kind of tame in comparison to the end of the film where the train literally flies off the track and demolishes a part of a city. I thought it was completely off the, and no pun intended, off the rails in comparison to the rest, because it was all confined to this train and the separate stations, and then the end is just complete disaster movie action almost, and I was like, oh okay, that was weird. I thought it would be a bit more, oh, it ends at a station and Brad Pitt just walks off. It kind of ends like that, where he walks off with Sandra Bullock's character, but that was the only real negative I could find. I love the action, I love the story, the characters. As far as I can remember at this moment, the music was fun as well, because obviously it's that kind of film. Yeah, I had a great time watching it all round. And I would definitely recommend this to anyone that loves a good action movie. The cast is amazing, the comedy is great. Like Sanada's character is very straight faced, and he's like the stoic character, and Brad Pitt is the, oh, I'm getting too old for this, so why did I come back and stuff. And it was a great, fun, entertaining movie to watch. So I definitely recommend you give it a go. It's probably still in cinemas wherever you are, so go give it a watch, or watch it on streaming later on down the line. But yeah, I do recommend it when you get the chance to see it. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to keep up to date with all future uploads. And yeah, that's all from me. I will see you all later.